Yo, what's up? Welcome to KindaFunny Games Daily for Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing. Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Gameonicist, aka Janet Garcia.
Yo, what's good?
Janet, first off, I got to compliment you. Your dress looks amazing.
Thank you.
Very vibrant, a lot of good colors. A lot of chat is also saying that your dress looks great. Where'd
Yeah,
you get that from? Is that a new dress?
it is new. I got it from Black Milk. Not sponsored, but contact people, I guess, if they're looking for that kind of collaboration. But yeah, I got it from Black Milk, and I'm like, when am I gonna go outside again? I don't know. So I'm like, I'll just wear it for these podcasts that I'm doing. So this is me doing that.
I'm glad you're better than me because every now and then
We can just end it there.
I try. Listen, I can stop giving you compliments right now. No, you're better than me because every now and then I try to dress up for KFGD. Like I had the polo thing going for a little bit, and then every now and then I'm like, oh, okay, no, I'll wear a bomber jacket. I'll wear a jean jacket. And right now I'm in my season of not giving a fuck because
Yeah, that's
I
good
don't know if
season,
it's I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it's just the vibes. But like I've been needing the sweatshirts. My sweatshirt is hiding right now. I'm not actually wearing it. But I've been needing like the sweatshirts just for the comfortability. I've not been super fashion over function lately. And in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna wait for the studio. The studio is when I'm gonna go all out and start dressing up again. Because
Oh, building up the hype already. I see.
yeah, because like that's what when I go out regularly, I like to wear actual clothes, like
Yes,
good looking clothes. But when I'm at home, it just doesn't hit the same.
that is true. It kind of feels like you're wearing a costume when you're just inside your
Yes.
house.
And I'm wearing sweatpants anyway, so what's the point of wearing a bomber jacket if I'm wearing sweatpants at home?
Bless, you notice how good Cool Greg looked yesterday?
He looked great.
Like his outfit, like that shirt that he had, he was wearing a Henley with like a tan or a camel canvas jacket on top. He looked great. That was a good outfit he put together.
And like the thing for me with Cool Greg is that now, since we've been working from home for the last 2.5 years, I only see him very periodically, and I swear to God, every single time I see him like maybe once every few months, and every time I see him, he looks better and better. Where I'm like,
Yeah, he's getting fitter and fitter. He's doing a marathon and well, oh shit, probably shouldn't talk about it. I don't know if he wants me to put him on blast. Doing a marathon in like 2 weeks. Pretty exciting for him.
Mm.
Oh, it's really exciting.
Nice. Is that his first, or is he just like?
He did a half marathon, like a month ago, maybe.
It's also funny because I've never spoken to Cool Greg in my entire life. I don't think.
It is a ride, you know, that human being.
It tends to be.
He's so fucking special. I love him.
Fucking love Cool Greg. Janet, what was your favorite vegetable fact that you learned before the show today? Because we had a long conversation about Brussels sprouts and broccoli.
I feel like this is gonna end in an argument, guys.
I guess the bok choy thing, like the relationship between bok choy and broccoli, though, that's not that shocking.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. They gotta go find out. Look it up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to Google for yourself.
See, my favorite thing is learning that it seems like Kevin has never thought about wrapping Brussels sprouts in bacon, which I thought was a very regular thing.
That's insane. I'm Googling that right now, seeing what comes up. Brussels sprouts, bacon.
Wrapping Brussels sprouts in bacon is the only way to do it. I fucking love bacon wrapped Brussels sprouts. Honestly, bacon wrapped anything I can go for. But Brussels sprouts, I feel like that's the main way that I like to eat Brussels sprouts.
It's kind of insane how much how versatile bacon is.
How much you can wrap in bacon.
Yeah, you can put most things in bacon.
Oh my God, this
and they kind of
beautiful.
Work.
Are you seeing the images? Can you pull them up?
Yeah. This looks good. Oh my God.
Dude, I'm saying, Kevin, it's gonna change your life. Like,
should I make this for you? Should you come over and eat this?
You read my mind. That was exactly where I was gonna go. Whenever you consider making this, I need you over to have some, because usually my older sister is the one that would make this for us growing up, and I've not made it for myself since I moved out of the house.
Are they sweet? Are they like candied bacon?
No, it's savory bacon. Yeah, it adds because like Brussels sprouts, there's vegetables, right? Like there's not like a savory taste there. Once you wrap them in bacon, it changes the whole situation. It changes the game. You're just eating bacon, but you also have the Brussels sprouts in there to make you feel a bit more better about yourself. I think that's the whole thing with it. You gotta love it. Listen, enough about bacon, enough about Brussels sprouts, enough about fun broccoli facts. Let's talk about today's stories, which include Discord coming to Xbox, Bruce Straley's new studio, and more, because this is KindaFunny Games Daily. Each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, to patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping for you. Our Gamescast this week is up right now in case you missed it. We reviewed Stray and As Dusk Falls. And if that's not enough for you, Andy has a Let's Play of his first 30 minutes in Stray. Both of those are up right now on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Fargo Brady and Gordon McGuire and Al Treisman. Today we're brought to you by ExpressVPN, MeUndies, and Athletic Greens, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number one, Janet. Discord is coming to Xbox. I'm pulling from Ash Parrish and Tom Warren at The Verge. Discord and Microsoft are bringing Discord voice calls to the Xbox. The feature, available now to Xbox insiders and coming soon to the rest of us, will allow users to connect to Discord voice chats from their Xbox, facilitating all kinds of cross-platform play shenanigans. The process of connecting your Xbox and Discord accounts and starting up a voice chat is pretty involved. First, you have to download the Xbox mobile app, as you'll use your phone number to transfer you'll use your phone to transfer Discord calls to an Xbox. Then, you have to connect your Xbox account to your Discord one. If you've connected them in the past, the instructions state that you'll need to do so again to accept the new voice permissions. Once that's done, whenever you want to talk to your Discord homies on Xbox, you can start a call on Discord, hit the transfer to Xbox button, choose an Xbox console on the Xbox mobile app, and you're done. Discord voice chat on Xbox works by essentially transferring voice chats from Discord to an Xbox, and it's supported on both Xbox One and Xbox Series S/X consoles. That means you can't directly join Discord calls from an Xbox, and there's no dedicated Discord app on the console. Instead, you always use the mobile app to sling calls across, and they integrate into an Xbox party-like interface. Microsoft and Discord will start rolling out this new integration to select Xbox insiders today, and it'll expand to more testers in the coming weeks. Janet Garcia, how big is this for Xbox?
This is a big deal. I think especially just because it's been a feature or form of a feature that's been highly requested, I think, from players for a really long time. And even if you don't intend to use it, I feel like it's still a good win for Xbox. Everyone basically just uses Discord for all of like that stuff. I think it's pretty rare for people to like regularly game online and they're not using Discord, at least to some degree. Obviously there might be some exceptions, like when I, call you up on PlayStation, I just do it from the console and I don't use Discord. But for my like larger parties or like my friends that I have on Discord, we just all jump into a chat on Discord. So I think this is a really big deal, especially I think in the context of PlayStation's relationship with Discord and how we're like, oh, we're definitely going to get some cool Discord stuff with PlayStation, and for Xbox to kind of beat them to the punch is kind of, I think, the most shocking part of this story. It's not so much that it happened, but it's just that like, oh, and before, not only is it going to be part of it, which again, like it's not like PlayStation owns Discord, they have like a partnership and relationship and investment in Discord. So I didn't necessarily expect it to be an exclusive kind of relationship, but for it to be before and not simultaneous or after is pretty surprising.
Yeah, I got thoughts about that, but before we get there, right, I want to echo the fact that I think this is big. I think this is huge. This is extra huge for cross-platform play, which over the years has become more and more of a big thing. And to this day, right, like communications are a thing that still have been nailed down. A lot of games nowadays have in-game chat, even for crossplay. So log into Apex and you're partied up with, if you're on PlayStation, you're partied up with somebody who's on PC or Xbox. In-game chat will work for that, but in most games, in-game chat kind of sucks. Like the quality isn't there. Oftentimes you step into a load screen in some games, you'll then cut out and then you won't be able to talk again until you're loaded back in the game. Subtle things like that hold that experience back in a way that for me is preferable. And I think for most people it's just preferable to be in some kind of overall party chat, whether that's PS5 party chat, Discord on PC, or Xbox party chat. Discord, though, having this integration with Xbox is huge in terms of what that does for crossplay. Because all the time now, I'm playing games with my friends Rihanna and Danny, and lately I've been playing some Fortnite with them. We played some Fall Guys the other week, and when we did that, again, I was playing on PlayStation, they were playing on Xbox, and we partied up on PC on Discord to talk to each other. And that is just a not like it's not natural, right? Like it's about a few steps too far in terms of what should be required to be able to chat in that way. And the reason why we're doing it that way is because we want to have the best experience talking to each other, but then also can't agree on whether we want to all hop on PlayStation or all hop on Xbox. And so I think this is going to be a big step forward for that. But yeah, in terms of Discord and their partnership with PlayStation and PlayStation's investment in Discord and this coming to Xbox first, I think a lot of people are surprised to see this happen so soon and way before, and not even way before, but before PlayStation having any sort of deeper integration. For me, I think that when we get the PlayStation integration, it'll be deeper and it'll be more ingrained into what PS5 party chat is. That is my prediction, right? Because again, you have PlayStation putting in the money, right? You have them putting in the work to advertise the partnership, to make it known that, hey, PlayStation and Discord is a thing. And I don't think it is going to be as simple as, hey, like, if you open up your phone and open up the PlayStation app, you can then reroute the Discord calls to your PlayStation. I do think it'll be more so, oh, you can go to either a Discord app that is already downloaded onto your PlayStation, or maybe it'll be built in natively. So that way, when you start up a party, it's already Discord integrated to where you can hit up somebody with their Discord username, and then it is naturally happening, as opposed to the way that's happening on Xbox, which isn't the worst case scenario, right? Like I think the way that they have it set up on Xbox is fine, but I do think that it could be better, and I imagine that when it comes to PlayStation, all that stuff will be ironed out by then.
Do you think the fact that there's so many steps to setting up, not just like the initial setup, because obviously that's always going to be the case on any platform, but the fact that it doesn't have like a native app to it, is that a disappointment for people? I know you don't really care as much because you're not someone that is maybe going to take as advantage of this integration, especially because it's on Xbox, and I don't know how often you're hopping over there. But yeah, is that kind of a letdown that it doesn't have a native app at the launch of the service integration?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Xbox doing online stuff enough to where I do feel this a little bit, right? Like I played quite a bit of Halo on Xbox. I play Forza. Like whenever there's a cool first party Xbox game or online Xbox exclusive,
Which is all the time.
Which is all the time, right? I'll tend to be on there.
Literally too many. I'm just joking, but also.
But for me,
I'm not missing any games. So.
I don't think it's too disappointing, like I think as I read it, it sounds way more complicated than it really is. Really all it is, hey, have the Xbox app installed to your phone and Discord also, so that when you join a party, you click a button on the Xbox app and it'll reroute it and you're in. I think that's better than what we've already had. And I think it's fine. It'll be a thing that people get used to. And I wouldn't be surprised if months or maybe a year from now, there actually is a Discord Xbox app. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just the first step into getting the integration there, to have it at the ground floor. And then over time, we get the full integration to where now you're downloading an app and it's easier than ever to jump into a Discord call via your Xbox.
Yeah, I agree.
Is this something that you see yourself using?
Not on Xbox specifically, because I play very few games online. And at this point, I think all of my online games I'm mostly playing on PlayStation. I will download Fortnite on Xbox just to make it a little bit easier to do things. I have consoles like from my desk to my bedroom TV to my living room TV. Probably similar to game is saved.
Sorry, my internet is like crapping out again. Yeah, you guys are too. Is right.
I would be surprised if you can't hear us.
I can hear you guys, but suddenly internet went down. So that's not good. And
your internet's down?
It's not down because we're still talking. I don't know. I think it got better. Everyone in chat is freaking out though. I guess it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
I'm looking at the stream like on Twitch specifically, and it like lagged and then it like pauses and stuff, which I kind of saw happening, but I just was like,
yeah, everybody in chat is saying robot Janet.
I think it might be bad. It looks like
I've had that theory for a while now.
I think it might be
saying
bad.
Kevin sounds great.
Yeah, it's
Mecha
back.
Blessing. Can we get confirmation that we all sound good? People are saying,
yep, it's good now.
It's fine. It's back. Janet is a great robot. I can hear you all now. We okay? Sounding good. It's fine. Okay, it looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. I forgot where we're at in conversation, but this Discord thing sounds cool.
Yeah, just the you asked like if I'm gonna use this. The answer is maybe. Like I do think I want to download at least like Fortnite on my Series X just to be able to bounce between platforms. And if this is, and it'd just be kind of cool to check it out too. I think just from where the space is moving in terms of like integrating voice chat more seamlessly across different platforms.
When do you think it comes to PlayStation?
Oh man, I feel like it's gonna come stupid late. Maybe fall. Fall always seems like a good time for some things, like a fall PlayStation tweet, but I wonder if your prediction is sort of the hold up on why this came to Xbox first, where they're doing a deeper integration. And then if that's the case, I wonder how, like what that process looks like. Is that almost done? Does it have a long way to go? Are they waiting to see what goes down on Xbox for like on the Discord end? Like they want to slowly roll these out instead of dropping it all at once. Like I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes or why this isn't out on PlayStation yet.
I would not be surprised if it is hey, we got to just slowly roll this out because technology is difficult, as you can see and tell for people that are watching, listening. But then also, like development is difficult. And so for Discord, I'm sure dealing with Xbox backend and then also PlayStation backend and trying to figure out how to develop for these two things differently, especially if they are trying to do two different things on the different platforms, because PlayStation is probably asking for way more. That is probably a big process, and it is probably okay, what we want to do on Xbox is easier than we want to do on PlayStation. Let's focus on Xbox right now and just get that out and make that happen. And then let's say 2023, it's all ships ahead on PlayStation and making sure that whatever that process looks like, we are nailing that and not having to worry about launching everything at the same time. My prediction is 2023. We've heard about this Discord partnership for a while now, and I think about now's the time where I feel like it should be coming to fruition. And so if right now the plan is to get Xbox out the way and then go to PlayStation or focus on PlayStation next, I could see it happening sooner than later. That was a crazy thing that just happened. The robots came through, they abducted us, they replaced us, and then started talking to the podcast, and people thought they were us. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy out there.
You never know what's gonna happen.
You never know what's gonna happen on KindaFunny Games Daily. But we're back with story number 2. Janet, Bruce Straley, formerly of Naughty Dog, has started a new studio. This comes from Nibel on Twitter. Nibel tweeted out this morning, Wildflower Interactive is a new game studio led by Bruce Straley of The Last of Us and Uncharted, and a team of industry vets that worked on a variety of high-profile games. Nibel then linked to the website where the studio writes, quote, "Good people making good stuff. It seems so simple and obvious, but that's really what it's all about. Let's enjoy our work and appreciate the people we get to work with. And let's try to advance our industry in the process. Starting something new means we get to change the way things are done. With the games we make, the culture we grow, and processes we use for both. We're making, quote, smallish, creatively charged, uniquely stylized games that explore the possibilities of our medium. And we're building a small, open-hearted team of creators that want to improve their skills and still lead a good life outside of work. People that want to hone their craft, have a say in the process, feel respected for their contributions, and be a part of the evolution of this awesome medium. Our first game is underway, and we've got the backing to help us grow. We plan on doing this slowly and consciously. Right now, we're hiring for just a few key full-time positions, but we'll continue to be ramping up as the year goes on. If you're interested in joining the team, check out our careers page, and be sure to check back regularly," end quote. Janet, Bruce Straley is starting up a new studio. Of course, people out there might know Bruce Straley, formerly of Naughty Dog, has worked on games such as Uncharted, was the game director actually of Uncharted 2, Last of Us, Left Behind, and then also did art direction on Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and then did art stuff as well on Jak and Daxter and the whole Jak series. Janet, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I mean, I always talk about being into people starting new projects, starting new studios, starting new IP. My joke from How I Met Your Mother, new is always better. I'm hyped for it. And I think even just looking at the website kind of gives you a little bit of a window into the vibe and the energy they're putting forth. And it's one that appeals to me. It has a really soft, artsy, funky vibe to it. It definitely picks some aesthetic over elements of function, where like the rotating carousel of the games. But I think that speaks to what they're looking to do, which is just make something cool and different and experimental. And they talk about pushing like the medium forward while also making stuff like that's just small and different and funky. And honestly, looking at their website reminds me a lot of Media Molecule's website in terms of them having like the funky Polaroids and the weird timeline stuff they do. So I like the energy they seem to be coming out with. The back of the team's baseball card is also impressive. You know, again, Uncharted 4, Last of Us, Call of Duty Abzu's on there. A couple other like Kana's on there. A few titles that have spoken to me. The Path is on there. So
a lot of games with good art directions.
Yeah, like I've liked almost all of those games and have like beaten almost all of those games as well. Like I have a really direct relationship with those. So obviously that doesn't mean that you're going to get like those games specifically, but I think it speaks to the pedigree of what the team has already done before this, and the idea of them kind of culminating all their skills seems like it'll be make some cool stuff. So hopefully their projects come out and they're dope, but either way, I'm looking forward to what they're going to be dropping. What about you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly it's going to be. I think it's very fascinating that they call out specifically that they're making small-ish, creatively charged, uniquely stylized games that explore the possibilities of our medium. To me, that speaks to the fact that they're not making AAA. And that's not to say that whatever they're making isn't going to be high budget or isn't going to look good or whatever, but it strikes me very differently from what we've seen a lot of lately, where you're seeing a lot of developers leave bigger studios to then start studios to then also work on big AAA games, right? Like we have the Callisto Protocol coming up from people who previously worked on Dead Space. That looks to be a really cool, pushing the fidelity AAA video game from a studio that I know they're owned by the PUBG folks, or at least the game is being published by the PUBG folks, but they are kind of a studio that's coming that grew from the ashes and is kind of doing their own thing. I'm very excited and curious to see what this game looks like. Again, talking about the previous games worked on, you know, you're talking about Abzu, you're talking about this. It says Call of Duty here, but I think that's just like kind of a throw in of, oh yeah, by the way, like I'm sure that somebody here did gameplay or program or something for Call of Duty, but then you're talking about Pathless, Abzu, Kana, Astroneer,
Give
Uncharted.
the scuba diver a gun, finally.
Give the scuba diver a gun. Yeah, like this sounds cool. The people that they have working on it seem like they know what they're doing, and right, like in art style wise and art direction wise, very curious to see how this one comes down. Is the fact that Bruce Straley is leading it, does that do anything for you? I know you're new to being an Uncharted fan with Uncharted 4.
The Uncharted ride has been a fun one. It's not over yet because it's still Lost Legacy, and I still gotta watch the movie. I'm not gonna do Golden Abyss or whatever. I'm skipping that one. Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of the projects that Bruce has been involved with, I've enjoyed. Especially like I think looking at it's funny looking at the game director element of it all too, with like what you have pulled up, where it's like Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4. Like, while I'm not an Uncharted 2 stan, the train thing was super dope, and that is probably my favorite of that initial batch of games. But yeah, I mean, I think there's some cool stuff there. I obviously, again, I don't think that necessarily means like you have to love all those projects or have a relationship with all of those projects, because at the end of the day, Bruce Straley is not making those games, right? Like they're going to go on and make new projects, and this is just kind of the history and the background. And I think if anything, that just speaks to the pedigree and I think the diversity of the portfolio. Again, I don't think you can look at Jack and Uncharted and be like, we're going to get something that's going to have such a direct through line. But those are quality games. Those are very different games. And I think it speaks to, you know, again, just the history and the knowledge set that Bruce has. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about story number 3. PlatinumGames is working on several unannounced projects. This comes from Francis Kenna at NME. PlatinumGames has revealed that it's currently working on a, quote, few other unannounced titles with different publishers, end quote. This comes from a new lengthy interview with popular Japanese publication Famitsu with PlatinumGames president Atsushi Inaba and vice presidents Hideki Kamiya and Takao Yamane. Inaba revealed that, quote, there are a few other unreleased titles, some of which are on the brink of production, and some of which are still in their infancy, but notes that the developer can't give away any specifics as it's up to the publishing partners. Additionally, Inaba states that the company is, quote, working on another brand new IP alongside the previously unannounced Project GG. In regards to the upcoming Bayonetta 3, Project GG and the new IP, Inaba described them all as being, quote, large-scale projects. Nibel also expresses an interest in increasing the company's size, which currently sits at just shy of 300 employees, to accommodate all of the new projects, with a future goal of being 1,000 employees. However, both he and Kamiya agree that it's an ambitious number. Inaba also mentions that this could lead to more studios outside of Osaka in Tokyo, with Hakata and Sapporo being mentioned as potential locations. PlatinumGames' next title, slated for release, is Bayonetta 3, which will launch exclusively for Nintendo Switch on October 28th, almost 5 years after its initial teaser trailer. Janet, what do you think about a new IP coming out of PlatinumGames?
Again, I'm always down for the new stuff. So yeah, I'm down for this. Admittedly, I don't have like a super deep history with PlatinumGames, but I'm excited to jump into Bayonetta 3. And it sounds like they're, thinking things through in terms of wanting to scale up, but also acknowledging that would need to involve like growing the company's size. So I like that they seem to have in mind what it will take to get to where they want to be in terms of being able to execute on their projects. Also, it's so wild that it's been so long since that initial teaser trailer for Bayonetta.
Right?
I kind of forgot how big that gap was, just because I'm not like historically a Bayonetta fan. Not that I don't like Bayonetta, but I haven't played the other games, so I wasn't like waiting with bated breath on this. But yeah, finally coming out, and I'm excited to check it out. I've been dipping into some people. There's some people I know streaming like the older games, like Sarah Pods is streaming, I think, the Bayonetta from Wii U, and I was watching that a bit. And yeah, I'm excited to dip into the energy that Platinum's out here putting forth. But what about you? You seem definitely like Platinum makes the kind of games that you historically have been into.
Yeah. PlatinumGames is a studio that I love, and they're a studio that is also very inconsistent. Weirdly enough, they put out Babylon's Fall earlier this year, and I think that's probably going to go down as one of, if not maybe the worst game of the year, for a game that's especially supposed to come out as this games as a service game that, when revealed, originally looked cool, but also originally did not look like the game they ended up putting out earlier this year. But aside from those pitfalls that we see every now and then from Platinum, I think they put out awesome games. And yeah, you talk about the type of games that they put out, right? They are those dope character action, big spectacle style games. And Bayonetta 3 is one that I'm looking forward to, right? Like Bayonetta 1 and 2, I never got around to playing because Bayonetta 2 came out on Wii U, and I remember reading those reviews. I think I talked about this recently, but I remember reading those reviews and being like, yo, this looks off the chain, like the 10 out of 10 from GameSpot. Damn, this game looks like it's about to be dope. Oh, it's on the Wii U. Okay, well, not me or any of my friends have one of those, and so maybe I'll come back to it later. But for me, I think
it's not too late for you to get a Wii U, bless.
I mean, it's now out on other things. Now it's just a matter of like,
bless, you have the Wii U. You have the company Wii U.
I always forget that in my closet is the company Wii U. But also, do I want to pick that thing up? Do I want to pick up that big ass screen?
The setup isn't too bad. Like the gamepad dies really fast, though. Like I basically play with it plugged in at this point.
I don't want to fuck around with that gamepad, dude.
I'm playing Yoshi's Woolly World right now, which is like one of the best Yoshi games in recent history. Like, holy cow, that game is so freaking good. But plug in your Wii U. Plug it in once, you won't have to plug it in again. You just swap out the HDMIs in the back with the other console you have there. I know you have the space.
Okay, first of all, we're neglecting the fact that I'm pretty sure Bayonetta 2 is on everything else now. Like it got ported. But then
there's more there though still.
Yeah, but like on the Wii U, that was like the original artist and vision is what playing on the Wii U. Bless.
We're also neglecting the fact that I have now used the Nintendo Switch since 2017, and I now have a Steam Deck that I've used since.
Okay, again, I'm lining up all these for like the big studio reveal, like show series, whatever we're gonna be doing. Like I have so many bad ideas for content, and one of them is I think we make Bless play the Wii U.
No,
like
I mean, we already did that. We did that for October. We did it for October. That's why he has the Wii U. That's how we played DK64. So.
Okay, but we can get like university jackets, and we can call it Wii University, and then just play Wii U games.
All right,
that's a great name.
I feel like Janet, you've been thinking about this
I'm
for
a
much
sucker for
longer
good
time.
names.
OMGLX says "We bless you." There's so many ideas,
okay,
right?
No, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. Wii University is great.
Thank you.
We bless you is terrible. And also, here's the thing. I'm not strong. I am mostly anti Wii U, but I'm not completely anti Wii U because the Wii U did have Nintendo Land. And Nintendo Land was a fantastic time that I wish they would port or make a new one. It was underrated. Not enough people checked it out, especially in multiplayer party settings. Nintendo Land was such a fucking great time.
It's an objectively better console than the Switch because it has DK64 and the Switch still doesn't.
Yeah, but the Switch is gonna get that sooner or later. You know, it's
Okay.
only a matter
So
of
this is-
time.
They got to
We just gotta wait for
Pokemon. They got to Pokemon Puzzle League before they got to DK64 Blast. We're not getting DK64.
We'll get it someday. We got a Banjo-Kazooie on there. They're talking to Rare. Actually, is that on there yet? I forget if they already actually put that on there already or
It
not.
might have launched with
KindaFunny.com/you're-wrong.
Banjo,
KindaFunny.com/you're-wrong. That said, no, I'm not gonna fucking play my Wii U. But then also, I'm
Of course not. You're saving it for Wii University. I look forward to seeing you there. Sign up soon. Classes fill up quick. Except they don't. That's why they made the Switch instead. So there's
But yeah,
that.
like PlatinumGames, they put out Astral Chain. I fucking loved Astral Chain. Nier Automata, one of my favorite games of all time. Played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance earlier this year and had a fantastic time with that. Like, PlatinumGames makes my type of shit that I absolutely adore, and I'm looking forward to what their future holds. The idea that they're making a new IP, I'm excited for, but because it's Platinum, I have to be cautiously optimistic because Platinum does have bad games sometimes, every now and then. I think they're getting better about not having as many bad games as they did back when they were making a lot of licensed shit, but every now and then they still have Babylon's Falls, and I think, you know, there are two things here. One, a few months ago, maybe it was earlier this year, late last year, they're talking about changes coming to Platinum. They're talking a lot about making ongoing games as a service style games, and those are what I don't want from Platinum. And that's what Babylon's Fall tried to be. And I hope that Babylon's Fall was a signal to them that no, you shouldn't do this. Let's pivot back to what we're good at and focus on making exciting games. That's first and foremost. Secondly, during the story, I read through from VGC, right? I mentioned one of the vice presidents, Takao Yamane. Takao is new to Platinum. This is a story that was written yesterday. I'm gonna pull from Nintendo Life. This is Ollie Reynolds, right? Who writes, Platinum Games hires Nintendo veterans, signaling significant change. Platinum Games, known for its works like Bayonetta, The Wonderful 101, and Astral Chain, has hired Nintendo veteran Takao Yamane in a move that is set to bring significant change to the company going forwards. Yamane will join Platinum Games as its vice president and chief business officer. The news comes from Famitsu. I think it was like a preliminary interview before the interview that where they talked about the new IP that they're working on. But the article goes on to give the context of Yamane had a 27-year career at Nintendo at multiple high-level positions, including vice president of Nintendo France and then managing director of sales at Nintendo of Europe. If there's a game company that I like, that I think makes good decisions in terms of game design and game direction, it is Nintendo. Not that Takao Yamane is going to bring in the full force of Nintendo into Platinum, but I think having somebody like that who understands the business dealings of Nintendo and understands the business philosophy of Nintendo, having them be as part of your new vice president team, I think is really good. And talking about how that's going to bring significant change does give me hope for the future of Platinum. And so, you know, I'll leave that there. I will say right now, it seems like Platinum's main 3 games that they're working on now are Bayonetta 3, which I think is going to be a banger. It looks to be a banger. It looks good. People love Bayonetta. There is Project GG, which is the 3rd game in their hero trilogy. That is Wonderful 101 and Beautiful Joe. And people are hyped about that. And from the debut trailer, that looks pretty good. And then it seems like there's this new IP. And again, I think and hope that it's going to be something that is more along the lines of what we know and appreciate Platinum for, because I don't want another Babylon's Fall. I don't think anybody wants Babylon's Fall. I don't think Platinum wants another Babylon's Fall. And so I hope we're all in agreement that let's not do that again. Let's just make good Platinum games, and hopefully that'll then rake in the cash for you. But cool. Janet, before we hop into story number 4, I want to let people out there know about patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames, where you can go and get the show ad-free. And before I even transition, Bear, I know you came in hot. Are you prepared for this transition?
We'll see.
Oh boy. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by MeUndies. Are people still trying to make plans with you this summer? As if you aren't booked and busy already. But thankfully, MeUndies wants to help make this summer the most comfortable one you will never forget. Because when you're living your best life, the last thing you want to worry about is butt sweat. And I know that from experience. But you know what? MeUndies has always been there to help me. I'm always wearing my MeUndies shirts, my lounge pants, my lounge shorts, my undies themselves, the socks. I'm a MeUndies fanboy. Wouldn't have it any other way. I just absolutely love the socks soft micro-modal fabric. Find your ultimate summer comfort in sizes extra small all the way up to 4XL. MeUndies has a great offer for all of you out there. For any first-time purchasers, you can get 15% off. For a limited time, if you sign up for the free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. To get 50% off your order, 25% off your first membership item, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/kindafunny. That's MeUndies.com/kindafunny. Shout out to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this episode. When you use the bathroom, you always close the door behind you, right? Well, you don't want random passerbyers looking in on you, so why would you let people look in on you when you go online? Your internet service provider knows every single website you visit. ExpressVPN puts a stop to this. It creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so that your online activity can't be seen by anyone. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices, whether it's my phone, my desktop, everything. Anytime I'm using the internet, just because I am trying to stay as safe as possible. The best part is using ExpressVPN is as easy as closing the bathroom door. You just fire up the app, you click one button, and you're protected. It is so easy. It's the biggest button in the world. One click, you're done. So if you're like me and believe your online activity is your business, secure yourself today by visiting expressvpn.com/kindafunny. You can use our link, expressvpn.com/kindafunny, and you can get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/kindafunny. Shout out to Athletic Greens for sponsoring this episode. I started taking AG1 because I'm not a big pill guy. I don't want to spend a lot of time on extra things, but I wanted to make sure that I was taking care of my health. Now, I've been using it the last couple months and I love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has a fun tropical taste that I actually look forward to in the morning. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/kindafunny. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/kindafunny to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. athleticgreens.com/kindafunny.
Story number 4, Blizzard Albany is joining the unionization effort. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. A group of quality assurance workers at Blizzard Albany, the Activision Blizzard developer previously named Vicarious Visions, known for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 and Skylanders, are working to unionize. As reported by the Washington Post, the group of around 20 employees has filed for a union election with the National Labor Relations Board and asked Activision Blizzard management to voluntarily recognize the union. Activision Blizzard has not confirmed whether it will or not, however, but said a decision will be announced formally and publicly to the NLRB. A spokesperson told the Washington Post that, quote, "We deeply respect the rights of all employees under the law to make their own decisions about whether or not to join a union," end quote. The efforts of quality assurance workers at Raven Software, who formed Activision Blizzard's first union in January, encouraged the employees of Blizzard Albany to unionize themselves. As associate test analyst Amanda Lavin said, quote, "It's been very, very helpful and inspiring to see other employees show it's possible," end quote. Quote, "Seeing their process, it's been demystifying to see them do it first and have an idea of how things go and how the company might respond," she added. Quote, "We've already gotten to see someone do it in our own company, and they've been very forthcoming with us, talking to us about what things are like and what problems they encountered," end quote. Janet, good news, right?
Yeah, I want everyone everywhere to unionize pretty much all the time for every kind of job. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Kozibear writes into patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames just like you can and says, "Blizzard Albany is unionizing, and in doing so, joining a small yet growing group of quality assurance developers across North America that have also unionized. Do we think that going forward we will mostly continue to see just other QA studios unionize over the next few years, or is the domino about to tip for non-QA studios?" Janet, is this just a QA thing, or are we going to see the dominoes fall?
I think it's going to go to everything. I don't know how long that's going to take, but we've seen other like studios in general unionize. Like what the first North American union was. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting. It's an indie team, and they made something Breakers. I bought their game specifically
Something
because
Breakers.
they unionized, and then I didn't end up actually playing it yet, but I did buy it. So I'll try to pull that up if no one in chat remembers. But yeah, I think unions are going to be the way we eventually move for a lot of the industry. I don't know if that'll ever be the majority, but I hope that over time, as it happens more, as people start to learn like what it takes to form a union, because that's so much of like the challenge too. Like, how do you form something that is super like a hot topic that could maybe get you into hot water in different ways, whether it's obviously legally, there are protections, like you can't fire someone for unionizing, but we all know that you also don't want to be talking about that unionization on Slack. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, there's layers to this and it's very complicated.
Vadio?
And even people.
Is that what?
Yeah.
Vadio was the developer.
Yeah, like Vadio Games or something. Yes, I think that sounds right. But yeah, there's a lot of like extra hurdles to, even if there is the desire, then there's trying to figure out, okay, who else is interested? Like, how do I, like, tell me you want to be in the union without telling me you want to be in the union? There's a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't know what it takes to form a union from scratch. Like, I've only ever been part of a very established union when I was a teacher in Chicago with Chicago's Teachers Union, which is like one of the best and biggest unions, like I think in the country for teachers. So yeah, you know, I think we will start to see that move, and I would hope that it starts to shift to the point where there starts to become part of, I guess, the job search, right? Where it's like, hey, maybe people more lean on studios that have unions because of those protections. Maybe it becomes more appealing to work at studios that have things like a 4-day work week. So I hope to see things like unions, like 4-day work week, like other elements that are pro-worker start to become popular enough that people care on the because again, people don't care until like the money gets involved in terms of corporations. So if certain things are what it takes to make your studio appealing enough to get the workers that you need, we'll start to see, I think, a little bit more of that progress. But yeah, that'd be my guess for it. I don't know if in our lifetime we'll see it tip in a big way, but I do think we're going to see these continue to pop up. But what do you think?
I think we will see it tip in a big way within our lifetimes, right? I think it right now, Activision seeing multiple studios within the publisher go for it. I think that's a good sign for other AAA studios and publishers having that happen as well. Because Activision has been one of the most plagued publishers in terms of toxic work environments, right? Like people not being treated the way that they should, right? Not having the like work liberties and freedoms that they should be allowed.
Really quick, the studio made Beast Breaker. That's the game that I downloaded and that I didn't play.
I've never
like,
heard. I was,
yeah,
in my mind, I was like,
downloaded the game.
what? In my mind, I was going through. I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of a game with Breaker in the
It
title.
actually looks pretty good. Like I also thought the game would be cool,
Plus,
but it was a bonus that I was like,
You've
oh,
never
yeah,
heard
it's
of
a good game.
Brick Breaker?
Okay, well, Brick Breaker.
Come on.
But like, I didn't think it was
Don't
going to be
just
the
throw
the,
words
the
out like
studio
that,
Brick
like
Breaker.
out like
No,
that.
that's
Like
fair.
you've never heard
That's
of Brick
fair.
Breaker. Come on.
That's
Les.
fair. Well, Brick Breaker. Okay, no, you got me. That's a good one. That's a good
Cool
one
your
to
head
throw
breath.
out. But yeah, I think you'll see a trickle effect through that. And to the question of, are we going to see this more for non-QA studios, right? Like, I think you will. I think the reason why you're seeing a lot of QA studios being the ones to lead it off is the fact that QA are oftentimes the ones that are treated the worst in the industry, at least on the dev side of the industry, in terms of things like pay, in terms of things like work environment, in terms of things like having those freedoms again and liberties that you want to have as a worker to be able to be treated fairly, right? QA is so on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to those things, and I think because of that, unionization is immediately needed for QA, and I think through that, right, it'll trickle up to other positions as well. But I totally understand why QA is quick to be like, yeah, we got to do something because these conditions are not great for us, right? And that comes from like me having friends growing up, right? Like I mentioned on Twitter that I went to a Volition event that they threw last week, and Volition is a hometown studio. I grew up in Champaign, Illinois. Volition is located in Champaign, Illinois, and I remember being when I was like 19 or 20. I had friends that worked at Volition as QA, and they'll talk about it all the time, right? Like, yo. Pay, like I know, like I'll be like, yo, how do I work at Volition? That seems fucking awesome. You work for a game studio, the ones that make Saints Row and Red Faction. I love Red Faction. They'd be like, dude, listen, I don't know if you want that smoke. Like, I don't know if this is the kind of position that you want to get into if you're trying to get into video games. For a long time, I think QA has had those issues, and that's why you're seeing a lot of stuff kick off with QA. But I think hopefully and inevitably you're gonna see this happen with other areas of the industry. Like Raven Software was the ones to kick it off in Activision. Raven, they're a support studio, right? Like they're still doing development. I'm sure there's a lot of QA happening there as well, but Raven does development as well, and so I think that's an example right there. And Blizzard Albany is taking a lot of learnings from Raven Software, right? It's a collaborative effort, and so hopefully you see this stuff make waves. Hopefully you see even more collaborative efforts across Activision and across other studios in the industry. But for that, we'll have to wait and see. For now, let's hop into story number 5. Spider-Man for PC has a new trailer laying out its new features. This is, again, Nibel on Twitter. There's a trailer, Barrett, if you're able to... Oh, you already did it.
You don't need to tell me things. I'm on top of it, bro. You always doubt me.
It's because I host with Kevin, and I don't know if you've done it.
It's not his fault. His internet literally betrays him every day, and he's trying his fucking best, all right, Bless?
If there's anything I know about Kevin Coelho, it's that he makes everything from scratch. All right. Did he not make his own internet? Did he not build that shit from scratch?
Maybe. I don't know anymore.
I'm sure there's some wiring in his house. This Spider-Man trailer looks good. Again, Nibel from Twitter details some of the bullet points here as far as new features. You're getting unlocked frame rate, graphic settings, DLSS support, ray trace reflections and improved shadows, ultra-wide monitor support, and customizable controls. They've said nothing about puddles, but I imagine
I really wanted them. I really wanted them in this trailer to get really cheeky and be like more detailed puddles. It would have been so good.
Janet, does this get you excited?
Admittedly, no, just because it's not for me. Like, I'm not going to play Spider-Man on PC. I already played it on my PlayStation, and if I replay it, I would probably just replay it on PlayStation. Does it look better here? Probably. Do I care about that? I don't. Could I perceive it? You'd be surprised to how little I can perceive in graphical differences when I toggle stuff on my PC. I don't know what it is about me, but I just can't. I'm like, max settings, second to max settings, basically the same to me. I don't really pick up on that, so I'm not going to pick this up or check it out.
Now, do you have a widescreen monitor?
Do I have a widescreen monitor? No, I don't have a widescreen monitor. But the fact that I even had to think about it for an extra second, and the fact that I'm also not even confident in that, I think is very telling.
Okay, that's fair.
I have this PC. I got an expensive PC, so I never had to think again. I'm like, I don't want to tinker. I don't want to think. I'm just going to go for it. But I do think this is good in terms of PlayStation having a good presence on PC. And I do think PlayStation having a good presence on PC is inherently good for PlayStation, which, again, makes the console where I like playing on my console. So I'm down for it in that sense. I'm just not excited as a direct consumer, but them coming in and actually having these cool features and bells and whistles to show off for the PC community that does care about that stuff, I think is important. That this isn't just it was never going to be a drag and drop because that's not how porting works, but I think highlighting these features is important for their push into the PC market.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. Barrett had pulled up their PC specs. I've not seen many developers do it this way, where they have a diagram of, hey, here's minimum specs, right? That you can have on PC to run this game, and then also here's how you run it. Right, talking about 720p, 30 FPS, yada yada, very low graphics presets. But then it goes up to, here's the recommended specs. Here's very high. Here's amazing ray tracing. Here's ultimate ray tracing, talking about the different levels of PC that.
So ultimate better than amazing, confirmed.
Ultimate is better than. Oh wow, yeah, from Spire. Oh man, that's a good. Also,
call, Bless.
Game Pass Ultimate.
Chat's already correcting you, and I'll correct you as well. Devs usually post stuff like this.
Yeah, but is it this detailed? Because I know they usually
like go through of like what minimums like also to ultimate performance stuff like this. I feel like I've seen this graph.
Usually when I see it, it is like here's minimum specs and then like here's maybe maximum. I've not seen it.
Yeah, personally.
Like
but also how often are you paying attention to stuff like that? Because not all those games are PlayStation games coming to PC.
I think too. Jesus mentioning that normally it's just normally it's not just like it's not always in a table. Sometimes it's just text. So I think just the presentation hits a little different. But
Les, does this do anything for you as a fellow deck boy over here?
Well, that's actually what I was going to get to, Janet. Usually I'm with you that when these PlayStation games come to PC, I think about it for a second. Are you usually with me? I mean, in this instance, yeah. Like usually, I'm like, if a game's coming, I'm getting like attacked a lot in the last 5 seconds. What do I do? I am like.
Do you really want the answer to that question?
Is it racism?
We don't have time for this anyway.
Usually I'm like,
2 more stories.
Usually I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to play the game on PC. I have a PlayStation. Like sometimes I think about it. Like for God of War, I considered it a little bit, but I was like, no, it's fine. Like I played the game on console. I'm sure the PC benefits are going to be great, but I don't need to play it again. I am a new man now that I have a Steam Deck. And I cannot wait to play Spider-Man 2018 once again on my Steam Deck portable, probably playing it in my bed. Like that is a very big seller for me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the release for that reason. But yeah, I do think like for the features that they're talking about in the trailer, good for people who are PC folks that do care about fidelity. I'm sure the Andy Cortezes of the world look at that and are like, fuck yeah, let's go. For me, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's play this on my Steam Deck. And so,
but is it deck verified yet, Bless? Is it pre-verified? I need to know. But also now, maybe I don't trust the pre-verification. Wasn't Stray pre-verified, and then Stray runs like not great on a Steam Deck? Like,
it'll like I feel like
they play fast and loose with that verification. I mean, if you watch, I want to say Blessing's video on his channel. I think that's because you have two. You have one on KindaFunny and one on yours, where it's like just forget about the deck verification, like just try out stuff and see what works. Sure. I feel like that's the way to go.
Asylum is unsupported, but like I got that to work very easily.
And people are like, "How do you know this?" Because I listened to Blessing Adeoye Jr. on YouTube.
Here's what I want to throw out. Right, Lanky Jake Dragoon says Bless comes out here talking about how sink water is good and wonders what he did wrong. I want to remind people out there. I just said that I'm from Champaign, Illinois. I want you to look up on the internet Champaign, Illinois water and see how clean the fucking water in Champaign, Illinois is. There's a reason I like sink water, is because the sink water is great out there. But I digress.
But you're not there anymore.
Yeah, but I still drink sink water. I don't know. I think it's fine.
Wait,
I'm not judging what
from
Why are we calling it sink water? Why are you guys calling it sink? It's tap water.
Tap water, I guess.
Tap water, whatever.
Water. What
you
the
get
hell?
what we mean.
What episode did I come in the middle of? Like, what is happening on this episode?
I called it sink water because Shaq called it sink water, but you get what I'm talking about.
I mean, we all know. It's like when I say I'm taking like a plane ride. It's like, that's just a flight, but you know, whatever.
What?
You've never said that. I've said that sometimes.
I've never heard plane ride before.
I know.
What name did Janet say? Where me and Barrett were like, what the fuck did you just pronounce
y'all
that?
are such like, that was so annoying. I forgot. And then I was talking about that in my house and they're like, I think they were just messing with you. And I'm like, no, they really meant it.
No.
It was it was y'all, Shia LaBeouf. Y'all said Shia LaBeouf's name incorrectly.
No, not that one. Because I say Shia
y'all
LaBeouf
came for me over like, I don't know.
I pronounced it
was somebody
ways.
from the Moon Knight guy, I think. What is his name?
I don't know.
Oscar Isaac?
Yeah,
I
said
yes.
Isaac instead of Isaac. Meanwhile, y'all didn't say Shia LaBeouf's name wrong, right? And then like it's weird that I said Isaac versus Isaac.
Like,
they're both the same word.
I call him LaBeouf for the memes, and also LaBeouf is not as common of a name as Isaac. I know so many Isaacs, and none of them pronounce it Isaac. I'm just saying. Story number 6. Sony's partnering with Spin Master. This comes from Rachel Kaser at GamesBeat. Spin Master today announced it has entered a new licensing agreement with Sony. The former is the toy licensee for first-party PlayStation titles, meaning it'll make merch for several of Sony Interactive Entertainment's biggest brands. According to Spin Master, this includes titles like God of War, Horizon, The Last of Us, and Uncharted. It plans to create products, quote, in the action figure, collectible, playset, plush, roleplay, vehicles, RC, and games and puzzle categories, end quote. Chris Beardle, Spin Master's CCO, said in a statement, quote, both SIE's PlayStation and Spin Master share a common goal, to inspire and entertain consumers through the relentless pursuit of innovation. Together, we'll bring the interactive storytelling of Sony's immersive PlayStation games to life in an all-new way, extending the fandom from digital to reimagined physical play, end quote. Spin Master rose to success thanks to properties like Paw Patrol, and it has been expanding its interest in gaming recently. In 2021, it created a $100 million fund, Spin Master Ventures, to invest in toys, entertainment, and digital games. The PlayStation-centric toy line is expected to launch sometime in spring 2024. Hell yeah. I'm excited to play with a Kratos and Atreus plushie.
Why did when I read playset here, or when you read playset off, I pictured like a God of War themed small kitchen for a child. That's probably not what they're gonna make. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't need any more garbage. I got a lot of garbage, but that's never stopped me from buying stuff before. Like the other day I saw on a PlayStation site they had like an Astrobot. What is it? It's Funko for bougie people, Nendroid. Or Nendroid or whatever, that you know, kind of figurine thing, and it looked really dope. I think it already sold out by the time I thought about like pulling the trigger on it, but seeing stuff like that was cool. So yeah, I mean, I'm down to see more I guess like merch stuff. It's always nice to have the options for that kind of thing. I hope they come up with some ridiculous stuff. Like I want, a God of War RC boat. Like just get weird with it. I want to see some cool stuff, but we'll see what comes out of this. It should be fun, and if nothing else, like if it's not something that you're interested in, you kind of can just skip it over. But if you are someone looking for stuff for certain fandoms, obviously God of War, Uncharted, Last of Us, Horizon are pretty well covered in terms of like PlayStation merch, but at the same time, there's not like a big diversity in some of those items. Like if you go to the PlayStation Store, there's only like a very set kind of style of things, and it does get like repetitive after a while with the shirts and like the mugs. Okay, how many tumblers can I have that say different PlayStation properties on them? So mixing it up is cool with a company that seems like they have a history in already innovating and doing things in that space.
Hell yeah. Let's round out the Roper Report story number 7. FIFA's getting crossplay in women's leagues. This is Chris
Hell
Scullion at
yes.
Video Games Chronicle. EA has officially confirmed the new features coming to FIFA 2023. For the first time in the series, FIFA 23 will feature women's club teams with 2 leagues available at launch: the Barclays Women's Super League in England and Division 1 Arkema in France. Crossplay will also be introduced for every 1v1 mode in the game, including FIFA Ultimate Team, online seasons, and online friendlies. This will be generation specific, meaning PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC players can play together, as can PS4 and Xbox One players. Other new features include a new Hypermotion 2 powered dribbling animation system, a machine learning jockeying system, new acceleration mechanics that see players reach their top speed at different rates, updated physics when the ball hits players' hands and feet, and which is interesting because like that's not allowed in football / soccer.
Maybe.
Oh, good point. Very good point. In my head, I was like, if it's gonna be a foul anyway, why do I care about the physics? That's a very good.
It's gonna be a handball, but yeah.
Yeah. And then improved net interaction physics, and then a more realistic pitch, which wears out as players slide on it.
Ooh,
and let me tell you,
that's freaking cool.
I had the same exact thought when I read through it. I was like, fuck, that sounds
I'm a little bit sad
tight.
that like this is, and I get why this is at the bottom because normally it's kind of like top down from. I get it. I put FIFA at the bottom too when I do the Red show, and we don't, we're already kind of over because it's been a long show for different reasons, but we got to talk about this a little bit. That is super cool. I mean, I'm always into the extra kind of bells and whistles on the animations. FIFA already looks really beautiful. I am hoping, I will say I'm always hoping for like a bigger jump game to game. And I do think there have been, like I started with FIFA, I think 2016 was my first one. And there was, I forgot what year it was, but there was like a nice visual jump in one of the years where like I really felt it. So I'm hoping that like stuff like this will really make it feel distinct, where at a quick glance, even I can tell. And again, I've mentioned that I don't have the most keen eye for graphical differences. Again, not to say they're not making it prettier every time. But something like that I think is super cool. Like the idea of getting like the real wear and tear. I think too, stuff that I really like seeing from FIFA was just getting a little bit nerdier with, I think, the analytics in like FIFA 22, because that's the one we're on now.
Yeah.
It has like, I love that they have like that data breakdown of like where the goals are shot or where you're moving on the pitch. So I think they already have that insight. So kind of adding in the sort of look to it. I'm hoping that's too more than just cosmetic. Like I would love to see if like there's extra like slip or like possibilities of like the slide going like not quite right if like the pitch gets like really worn down. I'm also interested to see like what that looks like with maybe different weather conditions in different areas. But those features aside, though, I am super psyched for the women's thing. I've been asking for this for a very long time with FIFA. I think in general, FIFA, I would love to see them do a better job with some of the licensing stuff they have. Again, it's not always like a malicious thing because you need to get these licenses. You can't just pick any team you want to do it, but there are so many like European teams and there's such little representation from like other areas. I think there's a lot of ways that I feel like FIFA could grow in representing all the different like diversity of the sport and the different people playing the sport. Something I do every year is I look for whatever the new teams are and I play a tournament with those teams. And admittedly, sometimes, I forget if my brother was here, he'd remember, but I've played with some real whacked leagues.
I was gonna say, them stats must be on the floor.
Not everyone. I gotta look for my old, I wish I had thought about this before, but like I gotta look for my old like data, because we've played with like some leagues that are just not good and like they don't play well and it's not a great time. But for the women's stuff, I've been dying for getting some women's soccer in here. Before this, they did have women in the game, but it was only the national team. So you could play with like, the United States women's national team, which granted is like the best, like one of the best women's national teams there are, as opposed to like USMNT,
we're a bit biased.
Not the case there. No, but I mean, it's like straight up, like they're up there.
They're fire.
Well, like USMNT, like the men's one, it's more like, okay, you'll probably make the World Cup, except for that one year y'all didn't, which was rough. And I say y'all because I go for Liga MX and like the Mexico national team when I'm looking at World Cup stuff personally, even though I like MLS.
And then when they get kicked out, you come running back to the
No,
US
I don't come
team.
running back. That's
that's
I would
that's
never.
what I do. I go for Nigeria, and then once Nigeria gets kicked out, whatever other African team, and then when they get kicked out, I'm like,
and
all
if
right,
that's you,
USA,
that's you know, everyone can enjoy the sport how they want to enjoy.
Multinational.
Personally, yes, I live in the United States. Yes, I fuck with MLS. I do not fuck with the USMNT. I don't fuck with that. That's just me. But anyway, I'm excited to see the women's team in here.
What about that one year where they got pretty far because the goalkeeper
I still didn't care.
carrying us?
I do not care. I don't want USMT. No, I don't want USMT to win. You can say what it is or whatever, like about you can judge me. I don't care. I'm not for it. Not approved by me.
Tough but fair.
But yeah, the women's teams, that's going to be dope. I've always had fun doing when I do my tournaments with my brother. We always do at least one women's tournament, and getting to dip into these is huge. And again, these are like, I'm not as in tune with like the women's leagues personally, and in general with soccer, I've kind of fallen off of keeping up with the real life sport. Like I don't watch it as regularly as I used to. But the fact that these are like, you know, Division 1, 2, like these aren't, you know, these are cool teams. They're like in that Division 1 league. So yeah, this sounds great. I'm excited for FIFA 23. I believe it's the last FIFA that'll have the FIFA name as well. So let's go. I'm hyped. Let me know. EA.
Listen.
You know I'm about it. Let's go. Let's do it. This is the first thing I did E3 2019 when I showed up.
EA if you're watching this, sponsor a me and Janet FIFA stream series.
1,000%. Like, and again, I'm not good in, I do not have enough knowledge of FIFA and the different modes to like do a review ever, because you need, I think, a really in-depth knowledge to really review the sport. But I play every year. I like check out the stuff. Like I'm legitimately a fan that has knowledge on the thing. Like we both fuck with FIFA. Yes. Like EA, I know you're watching. What's up? What's good? Let us see this pitch. Let's see me on the pitch. Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited about this. This is the most exciting thing.
I should have made this story number one. I didn't realize I'd get this level of passion.
No, I mean, I didn't know that I wasn't, you know, a lot of times with FIFA, it's like, yeah, like a little small, like, oh, they're adding this thing, which I care about. But like the realistic pitch is going to be fire. And the women's teams being added is a huge deal. It's been super requested for forever. I cannot emphasize enough that is a big fucking deal to finally have some women's teams in here that aren't just the national teams. But anyway,
Lexi Gunner in chat says bandwagon at its finest. Blessed. Listen, all right, first of all, I am Nigerian American. I claim both countries. When Nigeria is in the World Cup, I gotta get hyped. Inevitably they're gonna get kicked out because that's what happens.
Soccer's a nationals, but like I like PSG, and I don't have an association there. I just like Mbappe.
When Tim Howard, the US goalkeeper, when he steps onto the pitch, oh, I get so patriotic, man. Like I start saluting.
It's good.
I
and
start
this is not to
waving
say that USMT
flags.
doesn't have good play. I don't fuck with America. If that's
man.
what y'all need me to say. I don't fuck with that. And also, like, America doesn't fuck with soccer like that too. So like every time the World Cup, you know, all these people were like, well, what's happening? And like when y'all didn't make the World Cup, it was so good. I was eating that up. I was eating that up.
Guys, I'm really excited to find out if the U.S. Team is going to go to the World Cup today. But that is going to be so far away. If I wanted to know what came to the mom and grab shop today, where would I look?
Let's know, Janet.
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the KindaFunny Games Daily show hosts each and every weekday.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
I love y'all.
Of course. Listen, it's an odd show because we had to cut out some time because there's a lot of technical difficulties. So I'm trying to make sure we were getting those money's worth. Out today, we got Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 for PC, PS4, Stadia, and Xbox One. Dread Out 2 for PS4 and PS5. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Trials of the Dragon King DLC for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Tombstar for PC. Bunny Must Die, Chelsea and the Seven Devils for Switch. Hazel Sky for PS4. Oba Kedoro for PC, Seduction Amongst Fate for Switch, Bail or Jail for PC, and the No Man's Skies Endurance update is out today for free. That includes freighter overhaul, vast bases, improved hangar, NPC crew, and so much more. New date for you, FIFA 23 is releasing on September 30th. Deal of the day for you, this comes from Wario64. Tales of Arise is $29.99 US on the US PSN store. So go jump on that if you're a JRPG nerd. Now it's time for KindaFunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong so we can correct it for those watching later on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Comedian AET writes in and says, No Man's Sky, new update, Endurance is out today. Comedian, I'm gonna need you to time yourself out in chat for 69 seconds. All right, because I said that shit. You just hold your horses for a second and I'll get there. And then missed out today from Key 700 says, Sucker Punch have just made the Cole's Legacy DLC for Infamous Second Son available for the first time since 2014, and it is free, totally worth adding to your library. So if you want some of that goodness, that Infamous Second Son goodness for you, go check that out on the US, or I guess any PSN store. Janet, that's been it for KindaFunny.com/you're wrong. Tomorrow's hosts for the show are going to be me and Tim fucking Gettys. If you're watching this live on Twitch right now, after this is As Dusk Falls Part 2 with Greg, Mike, and Joey. If you want to catch that stream later, you can subscribe to youtube.com/KindaFunnyPlays. Remember, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday, live right here on twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/KindaFunnyGames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, salute to Tim Howard.